Fisticuffs.
G.
It's 10 o'clock on Thursday. You know what that means? There's a pop-up episode of Fantasy Fisticuffs, and the voice you're hearing is not Dan of Fantasy Fisticuffs. It's Doug of the Dugout. But we sometimes get together to talk about baseball, just because we like talking baseball. How you doing, Dan?
I'm good, man. I like the pop-up idea. That's very,
It's
hipster.
like a pop-up restaurant. We're just a pop-up podcast.
I know, or a pop-up store, where they sell retail.
Yeah, I
for
don't know.
Small amounts of time.
Yeah, and only if you're in the know, you'll know to be able to get this. Though, admittedly, you can get it on iTunes and Spotify afterwards. But if you want to be in the know up front, just hear two guys who like baseball talk baseball. And you're saying it was a great day for baseball. I had this thing for you. I want to see if you can hear this. There's a lot of great things that happened today. I mean, I was watching the Cubs game. Of course, they won, and there was that long 17-inning game. But in the Cubs game, right after the Cubs retired the side in the 7th inning, this happened. Did you catch this?
Hello, Cub fans!
What the hell is that?
You hear that?
I can barely hear it. What is it?
It's the Cookie Monster singing the 7th inning stretch.
Oh, God. No, I missed this. I thought we were going to talk about Craig Kimbrell or something like that. You talking about the Cookie Monster?
Is there anything better in baseball, like a more feel-good story? Buy me some peanuts, Cracker Jack. Well, he said today C is for Cubbies, and that's good enough for me. I just thought that was fun because who doesn't like the Cookie Monster?
I believe anyone. I can't imagine would not like Cookie Monster. C is for cookie, unless he's stealing your cookies, and then you may not like him.
That is true. But it was like all. I mean, I knew he was coming out, and I went on my way, but I had no idea their game was on in the middle of the day, so I actually got in at the end, and so I just ripped that from the broadcast. So I now have that because hey, the song.
It was a good day. It was a big baseball day though. Aside from all that, dude. I mean, you saw they announced the starters for the All-Star game today, right?
Yeah, actually, I made a note last night on something I was talking about that it's like I've been seeing a bunch of people publish their All-Star ballots, and I think Hunter Pence is going to win the DH.
He won it. I could not believe it, man. It was amazing.
I was thinking that it might be like this under the old system, you had one straight out vote. And, so a big city like Chicago, I mean, for some reason, the top voting, in the early round, the top voting getter Cubs outfielder was Alberto Mora. And it's like, he doesn't really, it's like, I'm a Cub fan. He doesn't deserve to be
deserve to be there.
Yeah.
But you know what? I didn't really have a problem with any of the votes. The only problem, I guess it wasn't even a problem because Freddie Freeman deserved to be there, but I really, really thought that Pete Alonso should have gotten that. I mean, the guy's got 27 bombs this year, and he is just absolutely crushing everything that he hits. And I get it. Freddie Freeman's been there before. He's the 4-time All-Star, the leader of the Braves, blah, 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 blah. But, man, if you're showcasing all this young talent, like Cuna's starting his first All-Star game, all these guys are starting their first All-Star game, Yelich, Bellinger, all these great guys, and you're like, oh, I'm not going to put Alonso in there.
The thing I was getting at was that, I mean, J.D. Martinez beat Hunter Pence in the first runoff by 180,000 votes. I mean, substantial amount. And now by having the second run, I think that Pence got it because there were a couple guys like me wow, this is a pretty good season. And one of the things we're talking about predictions. I was actually one of the few people who said anywhere that you could hear, I think Hunter Pence is worth a flyer this year. So I feel good about that. But I think that, there's a bit of a backlash. It gives, the Yankees fans an opportunity to not vote for J.D. Martinez, even though he probably deserved it. I voted for Hunter Pence, and I think J.D. Martinez deserved it.
Here's the deal, though, Doug, because I think a lot. We're just talking starters at this point now. So now the manager's going to come in, and he's going to name all these guys that just lost these things. They're all going to be All-Stars.
They're all going to be there, but
Alonso's going to be an All-Star. I believe J.D. Martinez. It may even be close on Nelson Cruz. I mean, we've got to get more of these twins in the All-Star game because they're leading the world in offense right now.
They didn't look like it today. They went 17 innings without a run.
Yeah, but that's one game out of 162, bro. I mean, they've been mashing the ball up and down the lineup.
No, I mean, it's true. I was looking at the American League thing, and I actually thought it was it was like literally in the American League. It was like everybody except for Trout was from 3 teams, right? And I thought it was the Twins, the Yankees, and the. Sorry, I guess you got to throw in Hunter Pence to the DH. I really don't think of that as a regular position.
Yeah, but the Rangers. All right, so we don't think about the Rangers being great, dude. Mike Minor's going to be on the All-Star game. You know what I mean? Like that guy's out of control right now. The Rangers are like 2 games out of an AL wild card right now. The last time I checked, I could be wrong on that, but I was looking at it the other day, and they were right in the mix, which really surprised the crap out of me because I was like, who in the beginning of the season gave any credit to the Rangers being in the playoffs?
My before the season take on the American League was there are 3 good teams in the American League, maybe 4 counting the Rays. I didn't know if they were quite there yet. It's like you had the Astros, you had the Red Sox, the Yankees, and probably the Rays. Those 4 teams.
Sure.
Every other team wasn't very good, and so it's like, all right. I think that Cleveland,
the A's too.
I think that the A's did it in smoke and mirrors last year. Somebody had to win 90 games because there were so many losses. I think they just got like as much as everything for Seattle kind of went wrong because they seemed like the better team on paper last year. Things for the A's just went right. Like the pitching just worked. And admittedly they got some decent talent with the 2 Matts and stuff and Chris Davis in the outfield, but they're not a world beating team. And I said like somebody's going to fight for that 5th wild card spot, and I said the Rangers might be a team that could do it. That was my thing. Like I didn't
what they're doing.
I didn't think they were in that super bad category, like where I would put like the Royals and the Orioles and the Blue Jays and the White Sox.
But I realistically think the Rangers have a chance at 3 more All-Stars. I mean, I think Gallo's a lock. What has he got? 19 bombs right now. I think Elvis Andrews has a shot to get in at shortstop in the American League, and I believe that Mike Minor gets in, and maybe even Lance Lynn. If you look at what he's done for the last month, if you look at his WAR for the season, where we talked about he's the number 1 WAR guy right now. Which is out of control.
He's number 1 in the American League. He is behind Max Scherzer, but he's only behind Max Scherzer. I mean, that's what
I'm saying. Though I just don't know if that get him enough credit to make the All-Star team.
Well, he's been good. That's all I can say. But it is a little.
He's been real good.
It is
but Minor, I think Minor's a lock, though, man. I think, like I said, I think the Rangers could have, like I said, four All-Stars on that team.
Well, like Jorge Polanco made it. I was just looking at this.
Yes.
Like the outfield is 2 Astros. So like there's a lot of Astros, a lot of Yankees.
Springer and Brantley, yeah, they both made it.
Bregman
and Trout, of course. Bregman, of course, made it. Yes.
It actually is tough because how many outfielders are you going to take? Because if your starters are Mike Trout, George Springer, and Michael Brantley, that sticks you at 4, right? So the guys that didn't make it are like, Mookie Betts, Aaron Judge, Eddie Rosario. We're talking about the Twins having to get in there.
Yeah, but Judge doesn't have enough at bats to justify being on the All-Star team. I mean,
that is true. He could get in by voting, but he can't get in by merit. Voting could take in the fact that as a whole he's.
But I think all the voting's done now. Now everything's going to be from the AL managers, so there shouldn't be any more voting. I mean, unless we get like did they cancel out the final vote guy like they did last year? Or are they going to wait until
there is no final vote anymore. This takes the place of it. This primary and this runoff concept is like.
I like this. I like this system. This is a neat system how they're doing it.
I was just wondering if like historically the All-Star game would be about like certain teams drumming up a lot of votes. With this new thing, it's like you can actually have a backlash vote. Like you could say like we are all Chicagoans and we're not going to vote for Paul Goldschmidt because we don't like him, or something like that. It's like the entire city of New York avoids voting for J.D. Martinez, and J.D. Martinez doesn't win the DH. That sort of thing.
No, I get it. I
don't know for a fact. I don't know how the numbers played out, but apparently J.D. Martinez got less votes this time around than he got the first time around.
But from a Major League Baseball standpoint, dude, Hunter Pence is the way better story than J.D. Martinez.
Oh, no doubt.
You could look at a guy who got he had like a 500 or 600 OPS last year. Now he's got like a 950 OPS. And it's a major what he did. I mean, at the end of last season, he was essentially a done player. He's 36 years old this year. And he was released from the Giants, it was end of his contract, etc. But they, then on the offseason, he goes and reworks his swing with, I'm pretty sure, the same guy that did Justin Turner's swing. And then he went and played winter ball in the Dominican. And then he goes and signs this, 1 year, a minor league deal, I believe, and to go with the Rangers, makes the team and now makes the All-Star team. I mean, it's such a great story and if you know anything about Hunter Pence, I loved him as a San Francisco Giant. He's such a great guy it couldn't happen to a better person, in my opinion.
No, I'm pro Hunter Penson actually from a fan of baseball standpoint. I'm glad to see him there. Whereas like JD Martinez will probably still get named to the team. If Hunter Pence didn't win, he might not have gotten named. So I'm happy for him.
Yes.
You know,
I am too. I don't know about that dude. He's got like 15 homers and like 48 RBIs, and it's hitting close to 300.
Well,
I mean,
you were just talking about
he was going to get it.
You get in this spot. There's just not that many spaces. I know that they wind up the All-Star rosters get bigger and bigger because people will bow out or claim injury, and so you wind up having this thing. And so yeah, maybe he would have been in the second or third run as people stepped away. Because the truth is, even though he's in as a DH, he's healthy enough to play outfield. It's something I actually don't understand about the Rangers. Like, he's better in the outfield than Shin-Soo Choo is, but they'll actually oftentimes play Shin-Soo Choo in the outfield versus Hunter Pence.
Shin-Soo Choo might be the most underrated player in Major League Baseball.
I wasn't saying he was bad. I'm just saying that Pence
I'm
is
not
better
saying he's
outfielder.
bad either. But just if you talk to most people and you were to tell them the kind of numbers that Choo has put up over the last probably half decade, they would be surprised.
I mean, to me, from a fantasy standpoint, and the reason why we're fantasy guys and we look at it this way, I think Shin-Soo Choo is like right at the threshold of what is palatable as a fantasy player. Like he's not well above it, but he's not below it. Like if you're worse than Shin-Soo Choo, you're probably not rosterable. Like there's got to be some demarcation line, and he's very close to it if he's not the line itself. And there's nothing really exciting about him. That's the other part. It's like you'd rather.
That's what it is. There's nothing exciting about him.
You'd rather take a whirl on, even though his numbers are better on a Jesse Winker, over Shin-Soo Choo because.
And I did it, and I'm definitely guilty of doing.
I did it too. We're here we can make our confessions. We're as guilty as everyone else. It's like we're fans of fantasy. Do you want? I mean, if you can't, the number one thing is to win your league. But besides that, the next best thing you can do is say, I got that player before anyone else did. That's the next best thing.
Speaking of players, Keston Hiura is getting the call back up. I heard that earlier today, and I jumped on him in a couple leagues to snag him.
I picked him up.
That's cool.
Last time we talked about my Hiura for Baez trade, and part of my reasoning for that was I didn't think Hiura was going to be up for... If I knew that Hiura was only going to be down for another 2 weeks, I would not have made that trade. But hey, I thought I really just assumed that Milwaukee would be stupid. And
can we talk about trades? Until today, the talk about trades that I regret was I traded Yordan Alvarez, for Chris Davis. God, it was probably like 3 weeks ago, and now I totally regretted it once he came up and was slugging a 1,200 OPS. But then he got hurt today. I don't know if you heard that, which was kind of disappointing. Yeah, he exited the game earlier with a knee injury. I don't know. They're not saying it's too serious, but he's day to day at this point. So.
That was one of the interesting things about the All-Star ballot is that in the final voting, there were 4 Astro outfielders, and none of them were Yordan Alvarez. It's like that team is
crazy.
Stacked.
That team is stupid, ridiculous.
When you want to talk about underrated, the guy gets no respect. Josh Reddick is on that list. I love Reddick. He makes Shin-Soo Choo look like he's Mike Trout as far as like respect goes.
I don't know about that.
As far as respect goes,
in Oakland. He was
literally
his heyday there.
The people in Houston don't want him to play. Like that's the thing. It's like they want to see Yordan Alvarez out there in that 4th spot. It's like he has the only people on Reddick's side is like his mom and his kids and his wife. Everyone else is like. And the truth is, what has he done when he's been with the Astros? Is he's hit like 320 every year. He's got like a 380 on base percentage. Admittedly, he's not a 25 home run guy, but he's gonna he'll hit you 12, 13 home runs and probably 25 doubles. That's a solid player, and literally everybody wants to see him.
He plays great defense. He robs homers.
And everybody wants to see him pushed aside, and that's why I'm saying he's disrespected. Mitch Moreland, he's in that category too. Mitch Moreland and Josh Reddick. But Reddick's been good.
Yeah, Mitch Moreland too. Yeah, he's been that guy that's
Reddick's contract is up after this year, and like if you could listen to Houston radio around that time, it's like no one's going to say re-up that guy. They're going to say let him go, and somebody's going to get a deal. He said, you know what he feels like? Reddick feels like a Tampa Bay Ray. He just feels.